Hello, my name is Rachel Cornelius, and I'm the manager of the Office of Partnerships and of the Teacher Education Program here at CU Denver. I am coming to your class virtually today to talk to you about the email that I sent you last week. This is to help make sure that you've completed all the necessary steps to get into your next field experience, whether that is in the spring or it is next fall. Just pay attention so that when it is time for you to take your field experience, then you know what you have to do. I'm going to share the file that either the academic advisor or your instructor will pass out to you. This talks about the two forms that are required in order for you to get on my list to complete your next field experience. Everybody who's in this class will be ready for EDHD 3930, assuming that you pass this course and the concurrent coursework required. Again, if you're not ready to take that until fall of next year, just keep in mind all this information will still apply in the spring, and I'll probably send out similar information to you in the spring, and this will help answer any questions that you have about it. So as you can see in the email that I sent you, I'm asking you to fill out that undergraduate field experience placement request form one more time. As you learned from 2930, the questions change based on which field experience that you are requesting. So this time when you select EDHD 3930, there will be options available for you to select. I've already completed this information for 2930 and I'd like to reuse my responses. So it will be a time saver for you, and you don't have to spend as much time completing all of the questions, but it's also a time for you to evaluate what information you did provide and if there's any update to those placement matching preference questions that we ask you, and if you want to provide any other new or additional extenuating circumstances that we did not list the semester prior. So the form is used so I know what field experience you are seeking. I can't assume that you're going to be jumping from 3930 to 2930 to 30, from 1930 to 2930 to 3930. Students space these out. Some students take them chronologically. Some students, they take two in one semester and then one in another semester. So I don't know what you need until you fill out that form. I mentioned before that the questions change based on what field experience you are seeking. And once again, these responses will be shared with our site teams. So once I gather all the information, and the deadline is November 1st, I will pull all that information, send it out to our professional development schools, and they will review every single question and all of their answers and all the information that you provided to make sure that you're going to get the best match for your 3930 field experience. The next form you have probably already completed, seeing as how you're in your second clinical block. This need to have been completed for your first clinical block. So if you've done this before, you don't need to worry about it. But there are some students that this went out to that had 2930 or 1930 waived, and they might have skipped this part. So if you have not done your fingerprints yet for the School of Education, follow the links to the background check assurance form, answer those oath and consent form questions that are asked of you on that form, and then follow the prompts to complete the VEX fingerprint process through the School of Education. You only have to do it one time. So if you've already done it, you can skip this part. But if you're a transfer student and have not completed this or had 1930 or 2930 waived and you haven't done it, just make sure you take care of this before November 1st. So the form provides information about the fingerprint process. Reminder that once your prints are on file with VEX, you won't have to do them again until you apply for licensure. So these fingerprints and the background check assurance form will cover the background check requirement from your first clinical block, second and third clinical block, and all of professional year. Then once you're done with professional year and you're ready to graduate and apply for licensure, that's when you will need to submit one more set of fingerprints to the Colorado Department of Education. They'll match that with your licensure application, and then you'll satisfy that requirement. Another friendly reminder that since your prints are on file with the School of Education, if something happens over the weekend, we will likely find out about it by Monday. Sometimes we'll have to reach out to the student and ask for additional paperwork, court paperwork, police paperwork, and your side of the story of what happened, what incident took place, and anyway, just know that some of this information has to then be brought to the teacher education administrative team, and then we'll make decisions about next steps, whether or not you can continue on in the program, or if we'll need to take next steps. So due dates, we talked about November 1st for the spring field experiences. If you are waiting to do this in the fall, just know you'll get similar information from me in the spring, and your deadline will be April 1st. So we have what we call a priority deadline and the final deadline. So priority deadline, if you submit these two forms, and this one should already be done. So let's just say, submit this form by November 1st, here's what happens. Your preferences are considered. So on the form, we ask which school district you prefer. We ask you all of those placement matching questions, and those are reviewed. Extenuating circumstances are considered. The answers to your placement preference questions are reviewed. So what that means is that we'll send all of that information out to our professional development schools, and they'll have time to review it and pick the best candidates for their mentor teachers, so that you have a match that you'll work well with and that you'll enjoy. And it's a first come, first serve. So if we have everybody wanting DPS, then those who I get first get a little bit more priority. The final deadline is the 15th of November and the 15th of April if you're looking to do this in the fall. So the 15th means that I will accept applications from November 1st through the 15th, but you're gonna get what's left. So you might not get your first choice, you might not get your second choice. All of your questions and all of your answers might not be reviewed at the same time when everybody else's are reviewed. They will get looked at, but not near as early. And it will all happen after you're placed. So after November 15th and after April 15th, if I don't have your forms in, then you will be on my list for the next semester. I'm just gonna roll out communications the next semester for the next semester, and that's how that will work. A reminder about your concurrent coursework. So you're all in EDHD 2930 now. EDHD 3930, your concurrent coursework is SPED 4030 and CLDE 3830. If you are a special education student, just touch base with your advisor, because I think one of these has changed. So that's what this form is about, and I'll make sure that everybody gets a copy of this. The next thing that I want to share with you are those forms that I talked about. So let's make sure that I pull up the right screen right here. So the background check assurance form, I'm going to assume everybody's done this, so I'm going to not go over this. But if you haven't, this is what it looks like. These are the questions that we ask you. And then if you select yes to any one of these questions, you're going to have to describe the situation that you are marking yes about, and anyway, you can go through that at your leisure. What I wanted to show you was the undergrad early field experience placement request form. Again, this should be your third time filling this out, so it should not be a stranger to you. This top information are logistical demographic informations that I need from you. I always ask what your zip code is, so that when it comes down to placing you here or here, maybe I will consider a place closer to your house. If you're applying for Next Gen, please make sure you select this appropriately. These languages, I only need to know if it's anything other than English. I'm assuming that everybody can speak English, so we don't need to list English in your proficiency. It's just if you know any other languages other than English. This is where you list if you had any extenuating circumstances. And I'm going to tell you that I will not be able to do much movement of your placement after you are placed. So sometimes I place students, and then after the fact, they tell me their extenuating circumstances, and it's hard for me to make any movement at that point. If you have something that creates a hardship for you, like you rely on public transportation, or you're a single parent and you have to provide pickups and drop-offs for your kids, or you have some type of a health issue that prevents you from being able to drive or something, anything like that, it needs to be provided ahead of time so that I can consider it when I am placing you. Know that I start placements right after November 1st. So if you are one of those folks getting these forms into me late, I'm not going to be able to read your extenuating circumstances and tailor your placement for them. Down here, so these are the questions about your advisor and what content. Within your licensure area, this is really helpful for our mentor teachers, particularly like science. What area of science are you interested in, so that we can get you in a classroom that teaches the content that you're interested in. It doesn't always match up that way, but it will be helpful that if you want to teach language arts, are you interested in creative writing, or are you interested in literature, that type of thing. So here is where you'll select EDHD 3930. We ask you if you've taken the concurrent coursework ahead of time, because sometimes students do that and have it transferred in, or if you're going to be taking it with 3930, or you already have taken them. We also ask what day you will be completing your field experience. So 3930, we really encourage students to pick Thursdays, because Thursdays are the day that all of the other teacher candidates are at your school. That's when your site professor will be at your school. Your mentor, like everybody is at the school on a Thursday. There will be some on Wednesday, but not near as many as Thursday. And then if you are seeking a minor, this is more for CLAS students, so you can skip it. But I mentioned here that you can select this button if you want us to reuse your preferences from 2930. So you can just select this button and those questions disappear. Same thing for these questions. If you like what you submitted for 2930, just go ahead, select this button, and those questions disappear. And then you just have to sign it below. If you want to update your questions, this is where you can update them. You should have received a copy of your placement matching preference form that you submitted to us, but if you don't have that on file and you'd like to see what you submitted before and see if you want to change any of it, check your email first, and then if you don't see it, send me an email and I will dig it up for you and pass it along. Okay, so those were the important things that I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, please email me. It is my preferred means of communication. Remember, the deadline is November 1st to get those forms into me if you're going to be taking your field experience in the spring. If you're not taking it in the spring, look for similar videos and similar emails from me starting in like March of 2020 or next fall. And yeah, hope you guys have a great weekend. Okay, bye.